Have you ever thought to yourself, what should I say as I introduce myself as a business coach for the very first time as I'm connecting with others, especially prospects? That's what we're going to discuss in this video training, why elevator pitches matter. Okay, before we jump into it, perhaps you're interested in starting your business coaching journey as a Christian business coach. You just don't know where to start. You're not exactly sure. You don't have a process, system, structure, tools. And you're just curious about what we do by providing coaches a done-for-you systematic approach to building a profitable business coaching practice. If that's you, you can go to businesscoachmastery.com. There's some information you can get there. You can even book a quick chat to learn more about it, to see if it's a fit or if it's worth learning more about on your own, and go from there. Elevator pitches. Now, before you go, oh man, listen, I hate these things. These are so cheesy, whatever. I would argue that maybe you don't understand the power of them. Maybe it's not been put together correctly for you and shown exactly how to use them. But I'm telling you, they are the difference maker in building solid relationships and adding value, period. Now, maybe you're sitting there going, what exactly is it? What's an elevator pitch? How does that work? And I've written some notes here just to keep me on track here. But it's designed to keep you on track upon what you do, what you offer, how you help businesses, and so on. It gives clarity to who you are. It gives clarity to what you do. It gives clarity to the value of what you provide. So regardless of how you're interacting and meeting someone for the very first time, perhaps it's through a friend, a colleague or a past colleague or, another business owner, a current client, whatever. Maybe it's at a networking event, a networking breakfast. Being prepared with a concise set of words that has such clarity that someone who's receiving it goes, wow, that's really cool. Or wow, that's interesting. Or wow, I'm interested in what you have to say. That's what it's there for. If all you do is you walk up and you get the proverbial, what do you do? Which I understand a lot of people hate that question, but it is what it is. It's a cultural thing, and you need to be prepared to answer it. So when we get into, what do you do? If all you say is, well, I'm a business coach, or I help business owners, that's super vague. It's not enough. It's not clear. It's boring, and it can actually cause a repellent-like moment, meaning people just I don't understand. And when people don't understand, they bail. It's the whole fight or flight. Again, it's psychology. They're just not going to engage, and they don't. And then you wonder, well, I went to that event, met all these people, but, really no one to follow up with. I didn't really have deep conversations. Well, that's just simply because you weren't able to really bring and build a strong connection with others. When you're able to present what you do with clarity, it invites them into the conversation, okay? So that's what an elevator pitch does. Why does it matter? Well, here's a few things that I want you to consider as to why it really matters, and it matters in a big way. Number one, you probably have heard the whole, the analogy of first impressions. You don't get it back. You never really do get it back. And so as you're connecting with someone for the very first time, on the phone, in an email, in a text, in person, doesn't matter. You want to provide clarity and make such an impact that someone walks away and perhaps they don't, sometimes they don't even know why they like you, but they're just feeling good about you. Guess what? God created the body. He created the mind. He created how we think. He created how we operate. And all this has to do with all those chemical releases. So if they feel really good about you, those chemicals or releases are going, you know what, it's the social bonding cue, really, of saying, I like this individual. They may not say those words, but that's how they feel. And that's what first impressions do. And as a coach, and certainly as a strategist, we want to make sure that we are thinking through strategically on how to engage with someone for the very first time. That's why first impressions matter. A strong elevator pitch provides a significant, effective communication tool. Because when you present your pitch done right, it offers an opportunity for someone to go, tell me more. That's effective. That's strategic. It maximizes your opportunities. It brings so much clarity that when you're talking with an individual, whether it's a potential client or not, it brings about an opportunity to expand the conversation and to get more into detail to where how you can provide value and how you can even find problems to be able to solve and to engage with them in a deeper way so that it goes from just surface level down to meat and things that truly matter. It's differentiating. When you have the correct type of pitch, you're able to take yourself and move yourself away from everybody else. Here's a reality. Very few, when you look at the entire coaching landscape, very few, use an elevator pitch. And in my experience, many that use them incorrectly. So when you do have one and you are using it correctly, you're moving yourself away, causing differentiation. All right? And that makes you stand up. And we talk about all the time in our community, in our group, how to be in the top 3% of all coaches. Being strategically aligned with having a strong pitch, this is what you do. It's a confidence booster. I'll tell you what, when you're walking into an event, again, any kind of meeting, a breakfast, a luncheon, a seminar or whatever, a friend group. I got invited recently to go with several different guys on an evening for a fundraiser. I'm going to be with a group of people I don't know. I am ready. My confidence is there because I know how to engage about what I do and how I can bridge the gap into what they do. All right. So it provides you that confidence builder. One of the biggest issues and challenges of those coaches who go to networking events, their confidence. And one of the reasons why their confidence level's in the toilet half the time, they've not thought about this. And so they go in there and they're just like, hey, hey, how you doing? Whatever. And you stutter around, you stumble around, you're not strong. Well, that absolutely puts a hole into the first impression and your confidence level. And you walk away from there kind of dejected. And when you have a strong pitch, that confidence level is simply, it rises to the top. It's a time saver. It gives you a lot of time efficiency because you're getting straight to the point. There's no beating around the bush. You're simply going to share quickly in the matter of seconds exactly what you do, exactly why you do it, and the value that you provide. Okay? So that's what a pitch is, and that's why it's so incredibly important. There's a lot of ways to create these. Okay? I'm going to give you my perspective, my version, and I'm not going to get too weedy. I'm going to keep it top level, but I'm going to give you a framework on how to create one, and to create one that gives you the adaptability to move it around based upon the conversations that you're in. Because here's the mistake that I think a lot of people make. They think that you've got to say the same thing over and over all the time. No, you don't, and no, you shouldn't. Because we want to humanize this process. It should not be a script. It should not be, robotic. It should not be analytical. The purpose of writing it is so that you have a framework to communicate who you are and what you do with clarity and the value that you provide. But it's not designed just to be super scripted, analytical, and those kinds of things. I'm going to give you an example. I'm in favor of what I call a 2-part elevator pitch. It's just my style, and I encourage you to consider it as well. All right. Number one, most pitches are usually between 10 and 30 seconds. These days, I would argue to be underneath 15 seconds. I just think that you can say what you need to say, and you can say it with less words. You really can. You just got to go through the process. I'm going to give you an example, and I'm just making this up just for context so that you have something to go by. All right, and there's lots of resources on the internet. You can Google how to create an elevator pitch. Lots of different frameworks to build them. But I'm going to give you you want to have one that's designed to be your initial intro. Essentially, this is when you're meeting somebody for the first time, you're communicating for the first time. This is kind of what you're going to say. Or not this very thing, but you just have what I call the initial intro. As a business strategist, I'm passionate about helping business owners gain traction by finding hidden financial breakthroughs through small increases in multiple business strategies for accelerated financial growth. Like, that's the framework, right? So sometimes I might say just that very thing, okay? Other times I might need to edit it down. What do? I'm a specialist in finding hidden financial breakthroughs for any business. See what I've done? I've edited that whole framework because of the moment that I was in. I didn't have the entire moment maybe to say the whole thing. One of the things I'm just passionate about getting traction for a business and helping their business, grow financially. Like that's still within the context of the overall initial intro. Now we want to keep it as concise to that intro as much as we can, but the point is we want to be able to humanize. You want to memorize it well. Clearly I didn't memorize that one. I just made that up for this video. You want to get it down pat. So if you're at a true networking event, you're likely going to use your full-blown thing. If I go to and hang out with some friends that I don't know too many people, I'm probably not going to use that first entire initial intro. I'm going to edit it down a little bit so that I've got 3 or 4 variations of my initial intro. That's step 1. Step 2 is you have a secondary part of that pitch that it kind of explains how you do that, okay? So for instance, in our community, in our done-for-you system that we give our coaches that they use, we have an elevator pitch specific to an assessment that we provide. It sounds like this. We can show any business how to find more than $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an additional dime on marketing or advertising, guaranteed, okay? That is like a pitch. So I'm able to utilize an intro of some sorts out of that framework that I've built in multiple ways. And if the conversation lends itself, even in that moment, where someone could say, well, how do you do that? Well, one of the ways that I do that is I show any business owner how to find, $100,000 in 45 minutes, blah, 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 blah. So that's that secondary pitch that kind of gets more alliteration to the process and to the how of who I am and what I do and the value that I provide, okay? Now, I may not use that secondary part for several conversations later. It just depends upon the situation. The bigger thing is having one. The bigger thing is being prepared. The bigger thing is totally rock solid. You understand your why to the core, all right? And practice, practice, practice. So your job, go create yourself an elevator pitch, okay? Your job is to make sure that you can get 3 to 4 iterations out of that main one and have a secondary. And that secondary is essentially saying, this is the thing that I'm going to do with you that's going to show you the value I provide that would cause you to want to say yes to working with me. So there's your elevator pitch. There's what it is. There's why it's so incredibly important. There's how to walk it out and go from there. As always, you can reach out if you have questions or thoughts or feedback. Love to interact with you any way I can. If you are listening on Apple, would love a 5-star rating if this means that much to you. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. This helps others to know about the community, what we're doing, and gives them value as well. Until next time, take care.